Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LG Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season 6, episode 3. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video. You can also subscribe and leave your comments below. Let's get into this episode. Okay, y'all. This episode was a fool. Funny and it was comical and a few deep moments that kind of made me go oof. But okay, Lisa thinks she really is doing something and she's not. But anyway, we start off with Lisa. Lisa is at a restaurant, and she's going to be hosting some celebrities that we know, Steve Carell, all them folks. But I'm still confused at what Lisa does. I looked online. It says that she has a marketing firm. She has a restaurant, or a couple restaurants. She has a business with her boys. I know that she talked about being the Sundance queen. Sundance, there's usually a movie festival that happens in Utah. That's the Sundance Film Festival. It happens every year around January-ish. December, January-ish. But anyways, I still don't know what she does. I don't know what makes her so high above everyone else. I don't know. Is it because she gets to be in the rooms with celebrities that she thinks that she's all that? Don't know. Anyways, so she's planning for all that, and she's just talking about the lawsuits. Anybody can sue you for anything. I'm so exhausted of talking about this. You talked about it for one episode. You've talked for one episode and you're exhausted. Why? People are saying, well, Lisa doesn't really talk about anyone. Season 2. She brought her friend on the show that had connection to Mary and was trying to instigate things, talking about Mary's church, and also being involved sexually with that man. Look, I'm not no new watcher, so y'all can't sit up here and gaslight me because you're in love with Baby Gorgeous. I don't know how I feel about Lisa. I take her for what she is, and I roll my eyes when I need to. That's all I can say. And I'm gonna call her out every time it's needed to be done. And I don't care what y'all trying to hype this woman to be. We move from there. Bronwyn has some time with her husband Todd. We're finding out since being in New York, aka the reunion, Todd is kind of just seeing the errors of his ways and how he treats Bronwyn. And he's changing. And she's liking the changes that are going on. We're seeing some quality time. I don't know if his schedule has changed because I think he's gone 4 or 5 days out of the week. I believe that was true last season. But anyways, he's more sticking up for her, even though he's always kind of been this non-nonsense type person to all of the BS. So she's talking about she wants to make things right with Lisa. Why? As Todd said, what for? I have this need. I just don't want anything to be awkward and da-da-da-da-da-da. Who cares? Look, all I can say is, in this group dynamic, and I'm not just talking about Salt Lake City, either people are going to like you or not. Either they're going to, fall in line or not. I do think that this show, out of all of the shows, knows that we got a job to do. So let's make this work. For the most part, Miami's probably second. But yeah, it's just like Bronwyn. But we're going to get into deeper as to where all this self-need. I'm telling you, Bronwyn has been through some stuff, and I think that she needs therapy. And I think that she's still dealing with the trauma after getting pregnant. That's what I think, because we're going to get into that mama in just a minute. Yeah, so we're finding out that Bronwyn's parents came to move in with Todd, which is very interesting. Oh, y'all ain't gonna like me today. It's interesting that now Bronwyn wants to help take care of them, but they wanted nothing to do with her when she got pregnant, all because of religion. And of course, y'all all think, well, that's her parents and she's supposed to do that. Okay, we're hearing that Todd was reluctant or helping out. And people were already chastising Todd, but then you see this woman later on got stuff to say about his wife and him. So I understand why Todd is the way that he is. Like, okay, yeah, Whatever. Yeah, so we're finding that out. The dad who was living with them is now in a care facility. I believe he has Alzheimer's, and we'll get into a little bit more of that. But and then the mom lives with them still. She had some type of medical crisis too, but she's doing better. However, since the dad is in the medical crisis, is in the medical hospital, and that's where he's going to remain for the remainder of his days, the mom doesn't even know what to do, and she's trying to get out of that home and make new adjustments. And it looks like that she's going to be residing with Todd and Brownwood. Look, personally, if you got to finance something, I might put her up in another home, but you're not staying with me. You're not staying with me in the way that you want to talk and act crazy with me. All right, Bo, put a pin right there. Let's go on over to Angie. Angie visits with her father, and we talk a lot about being Greek and being over in Greece. The dad really struggled. And Angie says, look, he hid it from us, and I'm hearing all the stories now in present time as to what he actually dealt with, and she's just very grateful for her father. That she didn't have that great of a relationship with her mother. I believe her mother was dealing with a lot anyways, so it was cool to see. And just to kind of go into a little bit more Angie, because her story's a little bit short too, she visits Heather and she talks with Heather about her daughter Electra. She's growing up and not really wanting to be around Angie like that. That's how teens are. They start becoming more independent, and it can feel very devastating, especially if you did have a close bond and all of that. I'd say it's temporary. I mean, you just got to get through these teen years, but it's one's trying to figure out themselves and individualize themselves and trying to grow up and all this other stuff that it gets in the way. So it's total normal behavior, and it's total normal feelings that Angie does have, because she probably feels like she's just losing her daughter at the time, and she can't really reach her. She talked about getting Greek, wanting to be a Greek resident, but like citizenship, that's it. And cool. Heather hugs her. She said, oh, that's great. It's something that's sentimental to her and important to her. I have no issues or no bone in the fight, if there is a fight, But Electra's like, okay, that's your life. That ain't got to be my life. So she just took that to heart and all that good stuff. Now let's jump over to Heather. Heather's storyline is, guess what? Come closer. Her story is, you ready? I'm moving furniture, and I'm writing another book. Okay, good for you, Heather. You're writing another book. When's the last time you had a storyline? Since we're talking about people not having storylines. And that cousin just makes a lot of noise every season thinking that she got a storyline. So, but hey, y'all gonna give some people passes on this show. I know y'all. But yeah, okay, so she's excited. The daughter's moving out, and she's going to be making a den instead of writing all of her books on the bed. I mean, you got some money. How come you didn't do that beforehand, Heather? I don't know. Whatever. But she has a 3-book deal with whomever her publisher is and all that. So that's cool. Hopefully it's not about Mormonism. Make it fictional something. I don't know. Since you got all these tales about something, talk about the tales of Salt Lake City. Something, But can we do something outside of being bad Mormon? All right, so back to Brown. Brown's at home. She's talking with her mother. Someone's compared her to Reba, whom is Sutton's mother. Sutton visited her mother last season on Beverly Hills, and you were seeing this very cold, hot individual. Maybe. I can also see Monica's mama. Chime Girl from season 4. I can see that. Ooh, but I don't know what was up with that mama. That mama was cancerous. She hated that daughter. But anyway, and she was there to expose Monica for who she really was all the time. She stayed on her neck. But yeah, she got all this stuff to say about Brownwyn. Brownwyn wouldn't be nowhere without Todd, and you could tell that Brownwyn was just like taken aback. So anyways, the mom's trying to, I guess, move out of the family home, and she's coming across a lot of memories and things of that nature. We're finding out how deep-rooted Brownwyn's insecurities are, and it starts with her mama and daddy. She feels like that she's not good enough, even for her dad, because they were so upset with her for getting pregnant. For her getting pregnant. That's why I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I'd be able to do it again. If I had the means, possibly I would fund your care, but you're gonna have to be over there. You would have to be over there. It could sound mean, but for me, I don't care. Not at this point, because So we're getting how Brownwood wants to feel a lot of validation in her life. Brownwood could have been a total different person, because people move in different ways, even in trying to seek out validation. Of course, we don't know everything about Brownwood. We're just really meeting her as of last year. So it's like, she could really go down some ways. I could see her doing like, the other Brownwood, if you ever watched The Real Housewives of OC, Orange County. She could be doing all this extra stuff, but I think she got some level-headedness to her. However, I need her to be confident about herself. I need to see the Brownwood that we saw her first episode get up out of that car in this outfit, that you really needed to be wrapped up in a parka. But anyway, she came out looking like a bad bee. And then now we see that, love me, pick me, choose me. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, the mama is a piece of work. Godspeed to you for however long you decide to keep messing with her. Let me go back to Heather, because during the conversation with Heather and old girl Angie, they bring up Lisa. We find out that Heather ran away during those confrontations at Amy's home. That's the one that had it at the mansion or whatever. And I said, wait a minute. You started all the stuff by running back and telling your leader about what all the ladies were saying, and then you couldn't stay around. You couldn't hold her to her feet to the fire and all that stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. That's a punk to me. But hey, yeah. So she also talks about the elitist comment that Lisa told her about she being up here and everyone else around, and she doesn't like that. Heather says that I've learned to tolerate her and I'm not going to change her. But you changed to be around her. And I can say this, Heather, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. And maybe there's more to it. Maybe this goes back to your family roots. You are an idiot. You did that for Jen Shaw too. That girl blacked your eye and you said nothing, even though you did your own manipulation stuff. You sat there the next morning. You let that girl, you're weird. You are weird, but whatever. You are, gotta be in your 40s, going into your 50s, and you still, okay. All right, let's move on. Lisa's got an event. She has two things going on, but only the elite group is going with her for one thing, and the rest will follow her for a lunch that she has. She's brought Amy, Heather, Mary, and Brittany, I think Brittany. But anyways, they go out shooting plates. Did she call it ski shooting? Whatever it is. However, it just reminded me of the Hunting Wives. Did y'all watch that show? It's on Netflix. Those white heifers, I love them. Anyways, I reviewed it. You can go look at my playlist, and if you got Netflix, go watch it. 8 episodes. It's very good, and they just got renewed for season 2, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, yeah, so they shooting all the plates, da-da-da-da-da. They had a little small talk, and Lisa was telling Heather was hinting around at what she has planned for the other ladies. So we go into the lunch, and we're seeing all these posters with court cases, and all she has everywhere, dismissed, 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 dismissed. They're looking around, they're seeing, Mary said, what is this? Things are so blurry, my eyes hurt. She says that I'm confused. And guess what? I'm gonna stay confused. I understand, Mary. Even after we got done with this episode, I'm like, well, what was all this? This is all theatrics. But it kind of is just like the press conference that Miss Huger had on Potomac, when we found out that her Bill Gates, the black Bill Gates, was the broke Bill Gates. But she was too busy going around in circles and not really answering questions per what she has been doing since season 1 about her life. I want to say something so bad, but I won't be messy today. So shout out to Miss Huger over there in Potomac. But anyways, yeah. So she wants to clarify to people, allegations don't mean facts. Deny. We denied this. We're seeing old. Angie, bring it up. Okay, we're seeing old photos of you. We see Brown sees that they were at some basketball game, and she's like, look, she don't even really got front row seats, and she's trying to pretend like she is. You can tell by the picture. I said, Lord, y'all be clowning this lady and reading the F out of her. So she wanted to say, anybody can can sue you for this, I love my job, blah, 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 blah. All of them have been denied. All of them have been dismissed. My lawyer said this was just a bunch of foolery. So Angie said, okay, to clarify what exactly is going on. This guy is saying, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. None of it's true. None of it's true. None of it's true. And since she got into it with Angie about the whole Jen Shaw thing, and then Lisa was like, well, you look like Jen Shaw. You have her old stylist, brow person, and all that. You have all that, and it's the same brow person that was saying that Jared Osmond was had been flirting with her. That's Brittany's situation. But yeah, Lord, she gets into it with Brown. You just want to bring it up because you were lying about all the jewelry that you didn't buy. Okay, that's what people do. Not about the lies, but she was even on Watch What Happens Live. Oh, she just brought it up to retaliate. Okay. This is Housewives, lady. 6 seasons in. 6 seasons in. You made no sense. And she was reading you and clocking you again. Very subtle. But, I mean, look, she was still clocking you. And you were talking about, are these dismissed? Or it's just something that you're making up as far as being dismissed? Whitney steps in. And she said, look, we're going to be bringing up this stuff just like anything else that we bring up. Because she was like, what was your objective? What of bringing this up? You're on a reality show. It's out there. We're going to be bringing up stuff. And then Meredith jumps in and says that just because something is said doesn't mean that they are true. And then Whitney was like, oh, the mute wants to speak? The mute wants to talk? That's what Kenya said to Nene during the season 7 reunion. Oh, she wants to talk? Oh, I'll talk when I get ready. Crazy. But anyways, yeah. So now they get on Meredith because Meredith didn't say anything. What they're saying. Meredith didn't have your back. Mary was like, we all were talking about it. You're just trying to single out one person. It's out there. But then she also concurs with Whitney that Meredith did not defend. Meredith did defend. Did she go as strong as probably somebody would want her to do? No. And maybe that's the issue. I don't know. But yeah, but Meredith's like, look, I did. And Lisa said, I believe you. I believe you. We get back on Whitney and all that stuff and about, how are you whining now in your business? We're not going to talk about that. No. Don't mind that, blah, 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 blah. I'm losing my business. How can you, as a business owner, why are you... Well, I can't stand Whitney in the first place. Let's make that clear. Whitney, you will not get me. You're trying to play this sob story with your business, and I don't really care. Again, as I said last week, you were making storylines for Meredith and Lisa last year about your business that you knew was tanking. It doesn't make any sense. You were the one that had a relationship with a blogger. Now you have a problem with somebody saying something about you on TikTok. Or you saying, oh, that's irrelevant. But you were using Up and Adam last season for a storyline. And then he turned on you. And he turned on you. Because he wasn't about to get blamed for it. So it's just like, what? Lady? Like... I don't feel sorry for you. And no, it's so triggered. She gets up. She's throwing napkins and stuff, losing her cool. We already heard Lisa again. Whenever Lisa is losing, she gonna yell. And then that one, she's getting up. She wanted a moment. Because what are you talking about? Mary was like, sit down. She triggered the out of me, Mary. And then she walks out. Sit down, Miss Rose, with the thorn in it. You are so weird. And she did all these theatrics for what? Oh, because your business is moving. I mean, you should be used to your business is tanking. Who cares? It's just now you're out of a lot of money. Now you done bought this new house that you're probably going to have to downsize. I wish people would really stay on your red-headed tail. That's another thing. Lisa called her redneck, or no, called her with your red hair. Oh, you calling me a redneck? That's not what she said. That's not what she said, Heifer. And you would be the first one to try to weaponize that and try to get all this sympathy and crap. Cut it out. You are pathetic. You are a pathetic woman, and I don't like you. I'm sorry. I know y'all just want me to be, but I'm not. I'm just not. That's all I do have. I thank you all for coming. Leave your thoughts. Like, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.